Hello and welcome back to MBC News. My name is Dooza Dragonash and I'm your anchor for this evening. And I have with me our little pots of white yogurty testosterone, Malbone's writer.
Hi, Dooza.
Sigmund Learminster.
Good evening, folks.
Editorial Clarity.
Hello.
And we'll catch Lisa Hermano later in the programme. Now, Walmart is buying Cosmics, a social media company, as part of a new group at Walmart Labs. Walmart Stores Inc.'s Vice Chairman Eduardo Castro Wright said that they were expanding their capabilities to take in technology and online shopping businesses. That social networking and mobile applications are now part of their customers' lives. At Walmart Labs is intended to create these technologies and businesses. Walmart Stores Inc. said on Monday it had agreed to buy the social media company for an undisclosed sum, as the world's largest retailer aims to win over more tech-savvy shoppers, as they say. Cosmics, however, will not be moving to an aisle near you, but will remain at their present offices, somewhere nice and sunny and open and airy.
Well, a new study from Stanford University in the US suggests that what you do in virtual reality can affect what you do in the real world. Now, the study divided 200 people into two groups, and one group had to go through the virtual experience of cutting down a redwood tree. That was complete with the VR goggles and a chainsaw. And the other group simply read about a tree being cut down. Now, when asked about how they felt about wasting paper products, both groups agreed that this learning experience had made them want to use less paper. But however, in a sneaky little follow-up experiment just after this, the experimenters knocked over a glass of water, quote, accidentally, unquote, and those who had undergone the virtual reality experience used 20% less paper napkins to clean up the spill.
How many experimenters does it take to knock over a glass of water?
Presumably only one. But they probably had to do this 200 times.
Yeah, to justify the grant.
Justify this, yeah. Well, what was fascinating me here was that whether we feel as our little group here, whether we feel that our real life has been affected by our second life. And I have to admit, at least on one occasion, I called somebody on my cell phone and asked them to TP me when you get there, rather than phone me. And this was for somebody who isn't at any second life involvement at all, and asked me what the hell was a TP.
What did you say?
I just said, "Oh, sorry, I mean phone me."
So he's probably still trying to. Oh, telephone. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's funny, I was talking about this to somebody the other day, and I said I felt it's probably made me demand more immediacy. You know, I just expect things to be immediate. I mean, part of that is just being online, but I mean, I think the virtual experience too. So, yeah, I think it does, but the subtle ways in which it affects us, I think, are a whole long discussion.
What about you, Eddie?
I've had a similar issue to Siggy with the TP thing, but I tend to find myself doing, like, once I laughed, and at the end of my laugh I was like, ha ha ha, lol, and I said lol, and that gets me, like, paranoid now. Every time I laugh, I'm really paranoid about doing that, like I'm trying to watch myself, and it's weird. But things like that, yeah, I've done before, but yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, mothers on the move are the big users of smartphone technology these days. Although business users are still a significant population in the mobile market, it seems that over the past 2 years, sales of smartphones to mums have increased by 64%. And of those mums, 51% admit to being, quote, addicted, unquote, to their technology. These figures are the result of a study undertaken by a company in the US called Baby Center. According to its chairman, Tina Sharkey, quote, the majority of mums sleep with their cell phone next to their bed, and more than half check their phone first thing in the morning and last thing before they go to sleep, unquote. Probably trying to hear from their husbands, but anyway. A full 96% of them have Facebook downloaded, and more than 2/3 of them check their social networks at least once a day, with many checking several times. Like many users of virtual worlds, it seems that mums use their technology to take a break from the everyday stresses and strains of being a mother. Patently, they don't have BT.
Why?
Well, following attempts to ban Google, China is now thinking of banning time travel. Yes, Doctor Who may be able to go anywhere in the universe and to any time, but perhaps not to Beijing or the Ming Dynasty. Now, the State Administration of Radio, Film and Television, which is an official Chinese government media watchdog, has warned TV showmakers and providers that programs involving time travel are considered harmful, and that such shows are, quote, treating serious history in a frivolous way, which should by no means be encouraged anymore, unquote. Well, the good news for the Chinese people is that they will never have to watch the truly appalling movie Black Knight with the tragically unfunny Martin Lawrence. Sorry, Martin.
We'd like to say that the views expressed in the previous item had nothing to do with MBC. Sigmund Leominster can be found somewhere in the States. Right. And now over to TechSpot with Melbourne's writer.
Well, thanks, Duza. And yeah, my first item this week actually is sort of only half tech, really, but it's an invitation to collaborate on a 3D map of Japan that's happening in Second Life. A professor in Tokyo has raised an impressive 3D map of Japan from Tokyo to Hachinoi, I think, which covers both the earthquake, the tsunami, and the nuclear plant-stricken areas. And it seems that Jan is hoping the space can be used to share information and help people regardless of borders. So if you want to check that one out, just go to a sim which is just letters really, DHSL01. And you can contribute there and read the sort of breaking information res as it happens, so to speak. Anyway, getting into more strict text, we have on many occasions, of course, covered the virtual world of Blue Mars, which some time ago sort of moved from the desktop. We still can get it on the desktop, but it moved its focus to iOS and mobile platforms. And today, they announced that they finally have their new CEO, and it's actually the co-founder of Blue Mars, the original co-founder, a chap called Henk Rogers. So he's now taking over from Jim Singh, who sort of stayed on as CEO to sort of while the transition was made. So our best wishes to Henk Rogers, I should say. Now, banking is coming to the virtual world, but it's not probably a virtual world that close to you. Avaya have an online web virtual world system, which is called Web Alive, and it's found in about quite a few sort of companies and things used it. But anyway, HP have got together with Avaya to roll out virtual banking. Now the press release is just too techy for me to even read into here, but essentially, as you can see from the picture, it's a 3D environment, which is a bank. And the idea is you will simply go into the virtual bank and interface with it to do all your transactions. So you can line up your avatar to borrow money, for example. But interesting move there to bring banking into the virtual space. And I've been forwarded a couple of other pieces at the last minute here. A web app bringing YouTube Live to the iPad. Well, you may have noticed, if you follow the tech blogs, as it were, that YouTube have actually started a sort of a live broadcasting stations at the moment. You can't go in as a member of the public and launch your own live stream yet, though possibly you will be able to shortly. But within days, a third-party developer has launched a web app that adds critical features of the streaming platform, and that is that you can now get it on iPad, iPhone, and iTouch. Apparently, it's a fairly simple hack. It's basically because YouTube uses Flash, it doesn't work on Apple's iPod devices. But the hackers got around that by presumably downloading MP4 streams. Anyway, the app is called YT Live. That's all one word, and the YTL part is in capitals. So if you want to watch live streaming YouTube on your iPod, then do check out, well, just Google YT Live. In fact, I have a link. It is ytlive.co. which sounds rather an odd link, but you can have a go at it anyway. And finally, a company called Encoding.com claimed that cloud transcoding can be done in half the time. Now, in fact, YouTube already, if you ever upload videos to YouTube, you will notice that they start encoding them while you're still uploading them, so that you don't actually have to wait too long for them to be encoded after you've uploaded them. However, a cloud encoding vendor known as encoding.com is introducing a similar system, and one of the extra things they offer is that the instant encoding feature not only does it all faster, but it will simultaneously encode into various different formats that you might need. So that's it for now. Back to you, Duza.
Thank you very much, Mal. And now for these messages.
Alter Ego announces the Who Loves You photo contest. Win amazing prizes from Alter Ego. It is free to enter the contest. Once all the entries are in, voting will open at 10 linden per vote. You have 2 weeks to enter, from April 6th through April 20th. You have 1 week to vote from April 20th through April 27th. So let the games begin, and good luck. May the most love win.
And welcome back.
Professor William Sharp, the economist, is conducting a study around retirement saving. Perhaps trying to influence non-savers to save is not a new thing, but by showing people themselves as they age through avatars in a virtual world might just be the way. Now, the study is pursuing the premise that behavior changes can be brought about by how your avatar in a real world causes changes in your real life. Now, the subjects of the study wear a virtual reality headset, and their movements are projected onto the older avatar. Now, you would have the mirror of yourself, although many years older. Then, through a series of questions, the participants are questioned about saving. Now, so far, the study is showing that people who had seen their aged avatars are proposing to save 30% more than those who hadn't. Interesting.
Yeah, probably feel sorry for themselves, I would think. Anyway, it's far too late for me. And now for public service announcements, editorial clarity.
Hi. Okay, so there's a few things this week. Alright, let's start. This Wednesday, Mimi Junot, owner of the very popular store, Mimi's Choice, which is a reseller of some of the biggest fashion brands on the grid, are having a grand opening this Wednesday. So expect lots of champagne and fashionistas at this gathering, which will take place at 12 p.m. At Mimi's Choice. And I'll be stopping by as well, so I'll be able to give you all the gossip from that next week.
Oh,
tell you what's happening. Yeah, a bit of gossip. That's what I'm going for, really. This Saturday, the much-anticipated BOSL Awards 2011 will be grabbing the attention of Second Lifers. The show will be aired live on Metaverse TV at 10 a.m. SLT with the red carpet pre-show, where some of the guests will be interviewed, and you'll be able to see what they're wearing and all that good stuff. And then right after 11 a.m., the main awards presentation shall begin with a pretty cool grand opening, so you'll have to tune in and see that. So you can see that 10 a.m. SLT on metaversetv.com/live. Claim to Fame. The second episode of Metaverse TV's Claim to Fame, which sees talented designers battle it out in a number of designing challenges for the next 16 weeks or so to become the winner of a host of prizes, including 100,000 lindens, was posted up on Metaverse TV's homepage and can be viewed now. Last week saw the first two contestants evicted from the show. Each episode is aired live on Metaverse TV every Wednesday at 3 p.m. SLT. So tune in to find out what's happening in the competition. And also, Miss Ebony International Contest is still underway, and on April 17th they did the second Judgment Walk, and some models that got through that were Dementia Navarrete, Paolo Trizomu, Rouge Anthony, Shelby Matfield, and a load more. And also for the ladies who did not make it, they get one less chance to enter. So make sure you stay tuned for information on that. And that's your announcements for this week, Dusa. Back to you.
Thank you very much, editorial. Okay, well, that's all we've got time for this week. And so we're saying goodbye to you all, aren't we?
Absolutely. Goodbye. We'll see you next time.
And yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and maybe even good tomorrow, depending on wherever and whenever you are.
I love how Mel says that. Okay, yeah, bye. Bye.
And it's goodbye from MBC News. Stay safe. Have a good week.